Once upon a time, in a great and spacious mansion in the city of Albany, there lived a beautiful young woman named Elizabeth Schuyler. She had rosy red cheeks, a bright and curious mind, and was blessed with a loving mother who doted on her and a father who was one of the wealthiest and most respected men in the colonies. Life for Elizabeth Schuyler was all the more blissful because she had two older sisters, both of whom were already happily married to men her father had hand-selected for them. And so it seemed as though Elizabeth would live her life surrounded by nothing but love, luxury, and privilege. But fate had other plans for her. Chapter 1. The Schuyler Mansion. The year is 1757, and we are in Albany, New York. Elizabeth, or Eliza as she preferred, was born in this house in 1757, making her 22 years old at the start of our story. Her father, Philip Schuyler, was a wealthy landowner and politician who had served as the mayor of Albany and currently represented New York on the Colonial Congress. Her mother, Catherine Van Bruch, was the daughter of a previous mayor, and together they had 3 daughters, the eldest being married to the well-to-do landowner Stephen Van Rensselaer II. A third sister, Cornelia, was engaged to be married to James I Van Derlen, a lawyer and politician. So when Eliza came of age, eligible young men from the wealthiest and most influential families in the colonies would travel to Albany, hoping that she would become their wife. However, Eliza's mother would receive each suitor with a polite smile and a gentle "no, thank you." For Philip and Catherine had set their sights much higher for their youngest daughter. Chapter 2. Love at First Sight. The year is 1778, and across the colonies, young men are feverishly writing letters, pouring their hearts out to the woman they love. But no love story is more celebrated than that of Alexander Hamilton and Eliza Schuyler. They met for the first time at a party in Elizabeth's home. Hamilton, a young officer in the Continental Army, had recently returned from a harrowing mission to France, where he secured much-needed weapons and ammunition for the struggling patriots. Upon his return, he had been invited to dine with the Schuylers and a handful of other prominent citizens. It was love at first sight, according to those who witnessed the pair that evening. They appeared to be the very picture of happiness and perfection, a perfect match made in heaven. 2 weeks later, Hamilton proposed and Elizabeth accepted. On December 14, 1780, they were married in a ceremony held in the Schuyler Mansion, and soon after they departed for New York City, where Alexander had been appointed as an aide to General George Washington. Chapter 3. Scandal. The year is 1791, and for the past decade, Alexander Hamilton has been the leading force behind the creation of a new national bank, tirelessly working to make it a reality. But just as the bank is about to open its doors, scandal rocks the nation. Maria Reynolds, a young woman with whom Hamilton had had a brief affair years earlier, has reappeared and is threatening to ruin him unless he pays her $1,000 a month for the rest of her life. At first, Elizabeth refuses to believe the accusations, calling Maria a vile and malicious liar. But as more and more evidence comes to light, Elizabeth is forced to confront the truth. Though heartbroken, she ultimately forgives Hamilton, recognizing that it was God who had placed her in his path all those years ago. Together, the couple would go on to have 8 children, 7 of whom would live to adulthood. Chapter 4. The Wee One. The year is 1804. Alexander Hamilton and his political rival Aaron Burr have dueled, and now Elizabeth is left a widow with 8 children to care for. In the aftermath of the duel, Elizabeth gathered her siblings and a few close friends to read the letter that Hamilton had written to her immediately following the duel. In it, he expressed how much he loved her and asked that she be kind to his memory. After reading the letter, Eliza rose from her seat and with newfound determination on her face said, "We must pull ourselves together. We have a duty to perform for the sake of our dear departed, as well as for ourselves." With that, the strong-willed woman set to work caring for her family, seeing to the publication of Hamilton's collected works and securing his place in history. Chapter 5. Legacy. In the years following her husband's death, Lisa would use her fortune to help establish an orphanage in New York City. which would bear her name and serve underprivileged children for more than 100 years. In addition to her philanthropic efforts, Eliza traveled extensively throughout the United States and Europe, always carrying with her a portrait of her beloved Alexander. When she passed away in 1854, she left behind a powerful legacy, not only as the wife of one of America's founding fathers, but as a force for good in her own right. Thank you for watching.